Hello everyone, Dalek here, and welcome to another random Minecraft video. In today's video, we will be revisiting the WIP TARDIS panel, and I'm going to be going over a few more things in it that I didn't show you in my last video. And primarily, I'm going to be showing you today how you can actually set blocks with metadata using the TARDIS panel, and then I'm going to show you how you can use the panel to activate certain custom redstone systems that you can use to further add to the decoration and details and features of your own custom TARDIS. Okay, to get started, let's head over here where I have a TARDIS panel. And if you recall, there is a set block command for the panel, which we can use to set certain blocks. So if I wanted to set a wool block, I could say set block wool and then list off the coordinates. So I can use tilde, for instance, just to set a block above the panel. And when I hit save, we can set a wool block. However, what if you wanted to set a blue wool block or a gray wool block or just a wool block of any color you wanted to? Well, the current TARDIS panel command, the way the command is set up, will limit you to only the white color wool block. You see, wool blocks and stained glass blocks and other blocks of multiple colors have a metadata value which gives them a specific color. So if you're running a command, you want to set these blocks, you have to use the metadata value to set the block with a different color. All colors of wool are called wool, but each color has its own metadata which makes it different from each wool block. I hope that makes sense. So if we wanted to set down a different colored block of wool, in the command we have to specify the metadata for that block. However, as I just said, the set block command in the TARDIS panel will not make room for the metadata. If we were to use the vanilla set block command, we would say set block coordinates wool followed by the metadata, a single number value, but in this command there's no room for it. If I wanted to put the metadata after the wool value, the panel would just think this was just a coordinate, and afterwards it would just ignore the coordinate. There's no way of getting metadata to place. So that's a bit discouraging when placing blocks, because if you wanted to place a block of a different color, well, it may at first seem like there is no way of doing that. And in the last video I made about the TARDIS panel, I did say that there is no way you can set a different colored block with the TARDIS panel. However, there is a workaround for this. So we're just going to need a command block, and since commands, regular vanilla commands, can set blocks with metadata, we're just going to use the command block to set that for us, but we're going to do it through the TARDIS panel. So I'm going to show you how this can be done. And in this command block, we're going to use the vanilla set block command. So set block, and then we need coordinates. So we're going to grab the coordinates above this panel just to keep the block in the same place. So 357, 91, negative 59. Like that, and then we're going to say wool, and then we can give this a metadata value that we want. So metadata values are a number between 0 and 16. So the white wool block has a metadata of 0, and that's the default setting for when you set a block down without any metadata to it. It'll just default set to 0. That's where we get the white wool block. But we want a number other than... Oh man, I didn't save the command. So let me hit enter this time instead of escape and actually get the proper coordinates. Sorry about that, guys. 357, 91, negative 59. Okay, so now that I have that there and I've explained metadata, so we're going to need wool or Minecraft wool. And then a number between 0 and 16. Or 0 and 15. There's 16 colors of wool. So we're just going to put a random metadata value in there. But if you want to, you can look up the metadata values online, or you can just play around until you get the color you want. But this block now is going to set a wool block above the panel, but it doesn't do us much good because we want to use the panel to set the block down. So here's how we're going to do. We're going to activate the command block. So instead of setting wool down, we are going to set down a redstone block, and then we're going to need the coordinates next to this command block to actually activate the command block by setting down a redstone block. So that's 360, 89, negative 58. Like so. And then how this is going to work is it's going to set down the redstone block, activating this command block, setting down the wool block that we were originally setting up here, but of a different color than the default color of white. And as you can see, we now have ourselves a lovely block of brown wool set up above the panel. So if we get rid of that redstone block one more time, brown wool, we can alter this for any color we want. So if I give that a metadata value of 8, now we have gray wool. So, or light gray wool. So there we go. But it's not just limited to this. We can do many things in addition to this. So if you want to swap out blocks, for instance, we can get out another command block, place it down somewhere else, give ourselves another set block command. So let me copy this set block command here and paste it in here just for the coordinates, but this time change the metadata to a different color of wool. So take metadata value of 5, and then we will need the coordinates for right here as well, so we can set down the redstone block. We're also going to need a second TARDIS panel, and let's see, so we're getting a coordinate that is positive x from the coordinates in this one. So whoops, how we're going to do this is I am just going to copy this command, paste it in here, and add a positive x value to this. That should give us a redstone block at this coordinate now. However, we also are going to put an air block next to each respective command block, and I'll show you why in just a second. So what we're going to do is also copy this command yet again. Go in here, and if you'll recall, we can stack commands in these panels. So we're going to put this one in and change this to an air block. That will get rid of the redstone block from the first location, and if we take the coordinates from this first command and put them in the second, we're going to do the same thing but have it set an air block next to the second command block. So get rid of the redstone and replace it with air. Save. So now we have each command is going to be setting 2 blocks. This panel is going to be setting, the panel has 2 blocks, each is going to set 2 blocks. This panel is going to set a redstone block here and an air block here. This one is going to set a redstone block here and an air block at this location. And what this does is it gives us the ability to flop out blocks of specific colors. So when I right click, we get our gray block or light gray wool block originally, but when I place this, this changes to the green block of the second one, places an air block here. So this way, when we activate the first one again, we reactivate the first command block, giving us our color of wool. So there you go, guys. This is how you can set blocks with metadata and flop out the colors of the blocks that you want. So obviously this is a very small scale, but this also works on a much larger scale. So you notice my TARDIS here now has light blue glass or blue stained glass blocks in the floor here, where before it had lapis lazuli blocks, and I can actually swap them out with different colors. So if I dematerialize, you'll see that they are white blocks like it was before. And then if I wait for the sequence to finish and rematerialize in just a second, there we go. They are now blue glass blocks again, and I place down these blue stained glass blocks, the blocks that have a metadata. So the redstone system for this is much larger and far more complicated. So if you take a look, I have all of these command blocks being activated at once, and each command block sets down an individual blue glass block. So this gets a bit complicated if you're doing larger projects. For a single block, it's very simple. It's what I've just showed you. But if you want to do something a lot larger like I've done, it's going to take a little bit of time to get all those blocks lined up and everything else. So just one more time to show how the system works. I have one panel specifically for dematerialization and one for rematerialization. When I dematerialize, the default panel actually sets down blocks with a default color, but if I wanted to choose like green stained glass or something, I would have to set up a second system very much like this one, but with the separate metadata value. But in this case, I'm just setting it down using the panel because white's the default color. But it also, more importantly, sets down an air block right here, which deactivates all this redstone, so that it can be reactivated upon rematerialization. So when I rematerialize, I use this panel. It sets down this redstone block. It reactivates all these command blocks and resets the blue stained glass block right down here. So this is just a very aesthetic detail to my TARDIS. It's nothing important, but it is one example of how you can use what I've just showed you on a larger scale to just further decorate and customize your TARDIS. So one more thing is you'll notice we're just setting redstone down to activate these different command blocks and everything, and this just doesn't have to work with setting blocks down. we can use this for so much more. We can use this to activate redstone systems and do virtually an unlimited number of things that you want in your TARDIS. And if you use a system like I have, so you activate redstone that you only want to operate in your TARDIS is, say, dematerialized, like an operating time rotor or some other detail flashing lights or something, or just swapping out blocks when you're dematerialized, you can just use two panels in conjunction with each other, one for dematerialization, one for rematerialization, and use it to activate a redstone system. So I would actually like to thank Doctor Who Fan 111, or The Outcast on YouTube, for giving me the idea for this, because it completely escaped my attention before. It's just an idea that I can't believe I hadn't thought of, and he suggested it, and I said, yeah, that'll work.
It's a brilliant idea. It's so simple, only you could have thought of it. Oh, eh?
So I'd really like to thank him for this, and what I'm talking about is just a basic redstone system. So if I dematerialize again, you'll notice that my time rotor is being broken up, and the water is being broken up, and it just shows that the TARDIS is in flight, the engines are running or whatever. So if we head all the way up here, you'll notice I have a redstone system, a very simple one. Some redstone that hooks up to a piston that blocks the water off intermittently, I think that's the right word, and it just hooked up to a simple hopper clock. And so this only operates as when the TARDIS is dematerialized, and it's just an activated redstone system that's activated specifically by the TARDIS panels. If I rematerialize, the column is going to come out, straight water again. That is because this redstone system is no longer being connected to the piston. Notice the clock is still running, but I've actually set an air block right here, which turns off the piston. If I were to dematerialize again, a redstone block would set here, activating the piston again and turning on and off the time rotor, or the gaps or the breakup in the time rotor. So that's one thing that you can do. Just place down a piece of redstone wire and activate whatever redstone system you guys want to have functioning in your TARDIS. Now, I should have said this earlier, but I recommend obviously putting these command blocks and whatnot outside the council room somewhere else where they can't be seen. I just have them in here just for showing them off as an example. So one last thing that I have done in my TARDIS, if I dematerialize again, we'll go over to these Enderman statues. Notice that they are actually nodding their heads. This only works when the TARDIS is dematerialized using the same principle. I just have those two TARDIS panels setting down some redstone wire on a system back here. So another hopper clock, very simple, activating these two command blocks. So I just set down a piece of redstone wire right about here, which connects the clock to the command blocks only when the TARDIS is dematerialized, and these command blocks use an entity data command to cause the Endermen to nod their heads. So that might sound a little bit complicated, but it's just using a redstone system and connecting it to the command blocks with a piece of redstone wire. When I rematerialize, the Endermen will stop nodding their heads, and some air blocks have been set, and the command blocks are no longer hooked up to the redstone system. So if you guys want to use your imagination, you can do quite a few things with this, merely by having the TARDIS panels place down a piece of redstone for you. And just hooking up redstone systems to your TARDIS that you want to activate or deactivate, not even when you're rematerialized or dematerialized, but anytime you want. And you can just use two TARDIS panels in conjunction with each other to give yourselves these different redstone systems, either setting blocks with metadata, or hooking up a redstone system in your TARDIS and turning it on and off whenever you want to. So that's everything for this video, guys. Thank you, as always, for watching. Thank you for all your support. And leave a like if you like seeing me do videos like this. Leave a comment letting me know what you thought or any ideas that you have behind using the TARDIS panels in this manner and making redstone systems. And I will see you guys in another video very shortly, hopefully when Update 46 comes out. So until then, guys, this is goodbye for now.